E3 2018 is coming up in just a couple weeks here, and while I don't personally post a lot of gaming footage on my channel as of now, I am very much looking forward to E3. It's one of my favorite events of the year to watch and see all the new games unveiled. And so I thought I'd put together my list of my most hopeful reveals of this year's E3. I really hope we see these games. To my knowledge, most of these have not been announced to be coming at E3. Some of them are, one or two, but they're just because I'm very, very much looking forward to them. And you'll know them when you see them probably. But let's talk about this. Number 10 on this list is Stranding. This is a game which we have only seen CGI movies of so far. We know that Norman Reedus is a part of this among other famous voice actors and other really popular entertainers. We know that this is Guillermo del Toro's project, and this is one that I am very much looking forward to. I really want to see some gameplay footage, if not a release date or at least a general window of 2019 when we're going to get this thing. It looks amazing. It was supposed to be Silent Hills. That got cut, and so I really want to see where this thing ends up going. Number 9 is Darksiders III. I've been a fan of the first two Darksiders games for quite a while. I played both of them on the Xbox 360 when they came out. Very much enjoyed them. I've replayed them on PS4 since then. It was a while back, we did get a trailer for Darksiders 3 at some point, and it deals with the third Horseman of the Apocalypse. We get to see, I'm assuming, their perspective during the events of the first and now second game, and so I'm very much excited to see how this kind of more sort of reboot of the franchise ends up going, how they end up referencing the events of the first two games, and seeing if it can revive this really great franchise. Number 8 is Doom 2, or at least the sequel to the 2016 Doom game. This is a game which I actually put aside for a while, and it was only within the last couple months or so that I actually took the time to actually run through this thing, finish it, platinum it. It was really, really fun, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what Bethesda can do with the sequel, what new areas we get to explore, what new demons we get to fight, what new guns we get to shoot them and kill them with. And so I'm really hoping that we get some sort of announcement for a Doom 2, kind of like how Bethesda did it with Evil Within 2 and Wolfenstein 2 last year. We had no idea those games were coming until E3 last year, and then they were released later that year. So I hope that it's the same with Doom 2. This probably isn't a very popular choice per se by some people, but it's a franchise and a trilogy which I personally found myself very much enjoying, and that's the Final Fantasy XIII trilogy. I would love to see this thing remade and put onto the PlayStation 4. It still looks really good on PS3. I think the graphics really live up to it. I think it has a really good overarching story for the first three games, and I'm really excited to see what this thing could look like on PS4 and what they could really do with it. And I feel like this is going to show up eventually, since it does seem to be the age of reboots and ports from old generations into this current one. And so I really hope that we get to see Square Enix alongside Kingdom Hearts 3 and Final Fantasy VII and everything else that they're putting out. We get to see some sort of, at least a small trailer and maybe a release date for the Final Fantasy XIII trilogy for PS4. Number 6 is probably the reason that I will end up buying a Switch eventually, and that is Pokemon on the Switch. I have been very much rooting for this ever since I played the Wii. I knew that Nintendo needed to get a good general RPG Pokemon game onto one of their main consoles, and it seems like the Switch is the next one up for that. So once we get an actual Pokemon RPG on the Switch, I think that'll be me buying it, and I think it'll be amazing. I've been a general fan of the Pokemon games for quite some time, ever since I was a young child, and so I'm excited to see what this thing could do on next-gen hardware, how it can look, and it should look amazing. Number 5 is going to be the Telltale Games Walking Dead Season 4, which is supposed to be the final season of Telltale's Walking Dead, finish up the Clementine story. And they're also supposed to put out The Wolf Among Us Season 2, which is supposed to, I'm assuming, tell a new story with Big B Wolf and the other fairy tale creatures which are in Fabletown. And we get to see what new mystery they have to solve, or maybe it's going to take something from the comics, or who knows. But I'm very much looking forward to both these games. Telltale is one of my favorite companies that puts out games thus far. I've played nearly everything that they have put out in the last 5 years or so, since the first Walking Dead, and I've rarely been disappointed. Number 4 is kind of a long shot, but it's one that I'm very much hoping for from Bethesda once more, and that is Elder Scrolls VI. I don't know what it will be called. I don't really know a lot of the lore or the background of a lot of the Elder Scrolls stuff, but I am very much looking forward to revisiting this type of gameplay style. I was a big fan of Skyrim, a big fan of Oblivion, never played Morrowind that much, but I am really excited to jump back into this franchise and see what the 6th installment can give us on a PS4, a game made for the PS4. Number 3 is a game which we should already have, but we for some reason don't, and that is We Happy Few. This game looks like the most general successor to BioShock. It looks like a very similar concept style, very similar art style, and gameplay style with that. And so I'm very much looking forward to seeing hopefully a trailer or at least an actual release date for We Happy Few. I think it's supposed to come out this summer sometime. We still don't have an actual release date. I believe it was supposed to drop sometime earlier this year, got delayed. We still don't have a release date. I'm hoping that we get to see that at E3. Number 2 is also kind of a long shot, but it's one which I would really love to see reemerge from the grave, more or less, and that is Dead Space 4. I think that reviving the Dead Space franchise would be a huge win for Visceral Games and EA if they're the ones who are still going to be working on it. I love the horror atmosphere of the first 2 games. The third one is kind of meh for me, but I would really love to revisit that atmosphere and really just dive back into one of the best horror franchises around. And then I couldn't top off this list with anything outside of Kingdom Hearts 3, the release date. This is a game which I've been looking forward to since the second one dropped in 2005. I've been a big fan of the Kingdom Hearts franchise for quite a while, ever since the first one dropped in 2002. I've replayed the games multiple times on the PS2 with the first 2 installments originally. I've run through the main 6 games and then Dream Drop Distance twice. At least twice. Well, once on the PS3, once on the PS4 with the remakes and everything. The franchise I grew up with, and it's one which I still love playing and experiencing. So I'm very much looking forward to when this thing is going to drop, when I can put it in my PS4, and finally experience the end of this great saga that Kingdom Hearts has become. So guys, those are all my hopes for E3 2018. I really would hope that we get to see at least some of these games. I know we'll see Kingdom Hearts 3 and Death Stranding most likely, because I think they've already been announced. But I really hope that we get to see some of these other ones that they show up unexpectedly, and we get to see some of these great franchises which have not been touched for a while return to consoles and systems alike. Be sure to leave your hopes for E3 2018 in the comments below. I would love to hear your list and debate it with you and see how many of you end up guessing right. If you like this video, make sure to like, share, favorite, subscribe, all that good jazz, and I very much appreciate it. As always, my name is Nick Pell, and once again, keep on gaming.